Welcome to part 2 of this Pilates Matwork session where we are working with hand weights. Remember that if you don't have hand weights, you can use 2 bottles of water, 500 mils. You could use cans of beans or food. They generally are about 400 grams. So yeah, whatever works for your body. You can also do all of these exercises without any weights at all, so don't feel you have to use weights. We're going to continue now part 2, sitting on the mat with your feet flat onto the floor. So have your weights near the body, but you don't need them just yet. We're going to start with a little warm up for the spine, because for the first part we didn't do much spinal movement, it was all just arms and legs. So we're going to have your feet flat into the floor, your knees are bent, and you're sitting up onto your sit bones. Now I know this sounds a little bit obvious, but we tend to often sit to the back of the pelvis, more towards the sacrum, and I want you to encourage yourself to sit right on top of those bony triangular sit bones that rest underneath the pelvis. That way hopefully we'll have a more neutral spine as we sit. We're going to bring the hands underneath your legs, behind your knees or your thighs, and draw yourself towards the legs to sit up really straight. We're going to do a roll back and forwards movement. So what I want you to do is start by drawing your spine into a lovely C shape. Tummy scoops towards the spine. Then you're going to gently roll backwards. Let the hands just slide down the back of the legs. Try and relax the shoulders. Take a breath in there. Breathe out, roll forwards, and bring yourself right towards your legs as far as you can curl. Then slide your chest forwards, lift yourself back up to a lovely sitting position. So we breathe in for the C curve, breathe out to roll back, breathe in there. Breathe out, bring your shoulders and your head all the way forwards to your knees, rounding your spine. Breathe in, slide the chest, lift your head, come back to your upright position. We'll do 3 more sets. So we're getting lovely movement in the spine. As you come forward, think of your diamond press or cobra as you slide the breastbone forwards and upwards. Last one. And when you get to the top, you can bring your feet together into long frog position, drop the knees, and if you want to, let your spine gently stretch forwards. This way we're just releasing, offloading the lower back. Take a breath or 2 into that position, and then when you're ready, come back up to your good sitting and your feet parallel onto the floor again. Now we're going to come into some boxing using the weights, and the first set of exercises, we're going to keep your heads, your shoulders facing directly in front of you, and we're just moving the arms in relation to your shoulders, but maybe holding a roll back. If you just want to sit upright and do the boxing in an upright spine, that's absolutely fine. If you want the tummy to work more, you're going to come into a small roll back. Now, just before we start with the weights, in terms of the arm position, you'll start with your palms up and the elbow pulled right back, slightly behind your spine. As your arm comes forwards, the palm will turn down, and that's your impact. That's when you box or punch. And then you turn up, you pull back, and then you come forwards and punch. We're going to start off slow and steady for at least 1 set, maybe 2, and then the last set we can speed it up and make it a little bit more fluid. So grab your weights in each hand, palms are up, and we're going to come into your C curve, a small roll back if you wish, pull your elbows right back, palms are up. Keep looking to your thighs or your pelvis. Now your right arm is going to come forwards and punch, pull back, left arm forwards and punch, pull back. Do 2 more sets to each arm, holding your roll back, keep the tummy strong. After your last set, both arms come forwards, roll yourself forwards and lift out of your C curve. So let's do one more slow set. Breathe into the C curve, breathe out, roll back, pull the elbows back. Punch for one and then for the other. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. Both arms forwards, roll yourself forwards and up. Now the last one, let's make it more dynamic. So as soon as one arm pulls back, the other arm's forwards and we alternate. So final set, into your C curve and roll back. Stay back, elbows pull back, right arm punches, left arm punches. This time do 6 sets if you can. Both arms forwards, roll yourself forwards, lift yourself out, come back into long frog with the feet, rest your weights and let your spine gently stretch forward. Again, we're wanting to offload the lower back. Breathe wide and deep into the bottom of the spine, the back of the rib cage, and then release yourself out of your spine stretch and come back to your starting position. This last version we're going to add in rotation to our boxing. So when you're, as you rotate, your upper body twists, your arm comes across the body to the other side, the other elbow's pulling back, and then you twist the other way and you punch to the other side. Again, you can do this sitting upright or you can come into that small roll back, and you're looking for that degree of rotation. The leg stays still, the spine rotates. So no movement from the pelvis downwards, hopefully. So grab your weights if you want to use them. We're only going to do 2 sets, one slowly and then one a little bit more quickly. So let's come into our C curve and roll back. If you want to roll back, elbows pull back. Right arm comes across the body, punch and twist to the left, then twist to the right, twist to the left, twist to the right, last one to each side, and then both arms forwards, roll yourself forwards, sit up nice and tall, and we do one last set. This time a bit more dynamically like the last one we did before. So come into that C curve, roll back, pull the elbows back. So we're going to go to the left first, punching with the right arm. Aiming for 6 sets, keeping the knees really still. Last one, I think. And then both arms forwards, roll yourself up, release the weights, come into long frog and stretch your spine forwards. Couple of nice big breaths there, and then release back up to your good sitting. We're going to come into some roll ups next. So this is where we roll all the way back onto the back, and then we roll up back into a sitting position and we stretch forwards. This is quite a challenging exercise for most people because it involves the ability to make your spine round. It involves a really strong center. And yeah, I think those are the only 2 things, but it is hard work. So try it out. If it doesn't work for you, just stay and rest and watch me if you wish, and just focus on some nice deep breaths. Now you want to have a cushion behind you to land your head onto if you know that you normally need a cushion. And what you can also do, some people find this quite helpful, where we have our lumbar curve, you can place another little cushion or a towel underneath that part of your spine, just to help you to roll through that, because it's usually this bottom part of the spine that's bent inwards and it's really hard to get it to bend outwards. So see if that makes any difference for you. Hopefully it'll help. So I put the head cushion towards the back end of my mat. I'm going to start off with bent knees again. Feet are flat onto the floor, but as I roll back my legs will straighten. So I'm going to reach the arms out in front, don't use your weights. Relax the shoulders, lift your spine. Come into a C curve, make your back as round as you can. Now start to roll back onto the tailbone. Draw your tummy in, roll back onto your lower back. Draw your tummy in, come onto your mid back. Draw your tummy in, come onto the upper back, the shoulders, the neck and the head. Reach your arms out behind you, send your legs straight out in front of you. So we're ready now for our roll-ups. We're going to take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, start to lift your arms, nod your chin to your chest, roll forwards, make your back round, 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 drawing the tummy to your spine. When you've come up to sitting, stretch forward towards the feet. Take a deep breath in there, breathe out, roll back again. Tuck the tailbone down between your legs, bring your lower back into the floor, mid back, upper back, neck and head. Arms reach back. Move slow and steady. One more set. This last time, I want you to roll all the way back and stay back into your relaxation position. You can bring your arms around to your sides, you can bend your knees and come into your starting position. So we're going to think about warming up the back of the legs now. I'm actually going to turn around to have my head the other end of the mat, but please stay as you are with your head where it is. Keep your weights within reach. We're going to use them for the second exercise. But to begin with, we'll come into our climb a tree prep. So if you have a head cushion, make sure it's only under your head, not under your neck. Feel that the chest is open, the breastbone is sinking down into the floor. Encourage that lovely curve of your lumbar spine. If you put anything under your lower back, take it out now. And then have your feet flat into the floor, hip width apart, parallel, pelvis in a neutral position. We're going to start by bringing your right leg into a knee fold. Loosely hold the back of your thigh with your hands, flex your foot. Keeping the pelvis in neutral, as you breathe out, we straighten the leg. Breathe in to return. So you're pressing through the back of the heel, the back of the leg straightening as much as it can. And the leg goes fairly high to encourage that hamstring stretch down the back of the leg. Just 2 more to finish. You can give that knee a little hug to the chest, rest your foot onto the mat and let's swap to the left side. Breathing out to stretch, breathing in to bend. You'll notice how I pretty much let go of the leg to straighten it because I don't want my hands to stop my leg from lengthening as much as it can. We'll do 2 more sets. And when you're finished, again you can hug the knee and then rest your foot back onto the mat. We're going to come into some shoulder drops next, so grab hold of your weights if you want to use them. You don't have to use the weights though for this exercise, you could make it more of a relaxing stretch. Both arms float up towards the ceiling, palms turn in to face one another, and let your arms drop back into the floor so the shoulders are really heavy and spreading wide across the mat. And the chest is also lovely and wide as well. Arms are shoulder width apart, and then on your breath in, your right shoulder reaches away from the floor, pushing your right arm to the ceiling. Breathe out, let the shoulder come back. Breathe in, left arm reaches up. Breathe out to come back. I will keep alternating the arms, feeling a really lovely stretch across the upper back muscles. Last one to each arm, finishing with the left shoulder peeling off the mat. Then we do 3 last sets, both arms together. Breathing in to reach and stretch. Breathe out, draw back wide. When you finish, let the arms rest to your sides for a moment. Leave your left arm on the floor and leave the weight there. Bring your right arm back up to the ceiling, with or without the weights. Now we're going to add in a little bit of rotation. So the right shoulder lifts back up again. Twist your right arm in the shoulder, untwist, draw the shoulder back. Go up again, twist the other way, untwist, draw the shoulder back. Let's do 2 more sets. Trying to get as much rotation as we can inside the shoulder joint. And it's amazing how much rotation we have. We could probably get the arm almost 360 degrees around in a healthy shoulder. When you finish there, before you bring your arm down, bring that straight arm across your body and just let the arm hang and relax in that position. Try not to bend the elbow, and you should feel a little stretch across the shoulder joint and those rotator cuff muscles. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, lift the arm back up, drop the shoulder to the mat, release the arm to the floor, and let's do the same on the left side. Right arm relaxed, left shoulder heavy in the mat to begin with. Breathe in to lift up and twist. Breathe out, untwist and rest. Breathe in, up, twist the other way. Breathe out, untwist and rest. 2 more in each direction. And when you finish your last set, lift the shoulder, bring the straight arm all the way across the body. Let the weight help you to stretch and release those muscles. And then lift that left arm back up, release the shoulder, release the arm, and let the body rest there for a moment. Next we're going to come into some fly arms with some hip rolls. So we're going to use the weights again, and you might remember we did this when we were standing at the beginning of the class. So your arms are going to come up towards the ceiling, wrap them around your tree trunk, bring your knuckles together above your chest. Make sure the weight's aren't above your head in case you drop them. Keeping that soft bend in the elbows, draw the shoulders back into the mat, bring your legs together, feet together. Now the pelvis will roll over to the right, but the left arm only flies to the left. Take a breath in there, breathe out, come back to the center. Pelvis to the left, right arm flies, and breathe out, come back to the center. And we'll gently alternate from side to side. Breathing out as you roll away from the body. Breathe in to hold that stretch. Breathe out, coming back to the center. So encouraging lovely rotation from the mid-back downwards, and we're encouraging a really lovely opening across the shoulder, across the chest, as we do the single fly arms. If you want a little bit more challenge after you've evened up to the left with your pelvis, maybe bring your legs into a double knee fold position and see if you can do the same thing with your feet up. It'll be a little bit more challenging. Breathe in to go over and breathe out to come back. We'll do 2 more to each side. Remember to keep both shoulders anchored to the floor. Last one. And then release your feet, release your weights. Adjust your head cushions if you need to. Maybe roll your head gently from side to side, letting go of any tension in your neck. From here we're going to come into some shoulder bridges where we're strengthening the back of the legs, the bum and the hamstrings. And we're going to keep your feet hip width apart, but maybe bring your feet a little closer to your bottom. If you want to, you can pop the weights onto the front of the pelvis, and that's going to help us to engage or to work a little bit harder through the legs. Keep hold of the weights, just because when we lift the hips you don't want the weights rolling forwards and onto your face. So relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, squeeze your bum, lift your bum up, and breathe out to come back to rest. Breathe in, squeeze and lift. Breathe out to rest. I'm just going to take my head cushion away because I can feel a little bit of compression in my neck. So I'm going to squeeze and lift. Oh, that's better. Good. So you're encouraging your hips to come up so that you have a lovely straight line from your knees across the hips to the shoulders. A lovely diagonal line. It's the in breath to lift, the out breath to release. We'll do 2 more sets. If you need to release the hamstrings, just stretch the legs out after that set. And for the next version, rather than resting your bottom, we're going to do a halfway return rather than a full return. So you're going to come up again. This time go halfway down, straight back up. Halfway down, straight back up. So you're feeling much more work now into the back of the body, lower backs, bums, hamstrings, as you lift up and down. Three more sets. And when you're finished, rest your bum into the mat. Stretch out the legs again if you want to. And then from here, the last little version with this particular exercise, we're going to add in a heel lift. And actually, I think I'm going to turn around just so you can see my feet a bit more clearly. We're going to add in a little lift of the heels as we come up. So, have the weights on the body if you need to. When you are ready, first of all, lift your bum away from the mat. Then lift your heels off the mat. Now lower your bum and then release the heels. Breathe in to go up and lift the heels. Breathe out to go down and rest the heels. Let's do 3 more. So now we're feeling calf muscles working as well as bums and hamstrings and lower backs. Now stay down with your bum but lift your heels. Now lift your bum. Now lower your heels and then the bottom. Breathe in, heels go up and then the bum. Breathe out, heels go down, then the bum. We'll do 3 more sets. Last one. And stretch out the legs, release any tension. Let's leave the weights to one side. We're going to come from a single leg stretch stage 1 into single leg stretch stage 3. If you want to keep your head down on the mat for stage 3, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, we're going to come into a curl up and hold that position. So bring your legs one at a time into a double knee fold position. Feet together, knees apart. Take your hands into the tops of your knees. Make sure your pelvis is in neutral and your spine has its natural curves. Now we're going to take hold of the left knee, right leg straightens up to the ceiling and bend. Left knee extends and bends. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. It's a little bit like climber tree prep that we did when we first came onto our backs. Except the legs are laterally rotated. This is your last set. Now when you've finished here, take your hands behind your head and bring yourself forwards into a curl up. Now you could keep your hands behind the head if you need to, otherwise preferably you're going to hold on to the tops of your knees again. Now as your right leg stretches much lower and forwards, pull that left leg towards you. Now swap, left leg forward, right leg pulls back. You're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. 2 more to each side. And then release your head to the floor, bring your feet down to the mat. Let your head gently turn from side to side. Let go of any tension in the neck. And when you finish there, we are going to transition for the last, well, it's actually we might even do part 4. So let's take a break here and we'll resume for part 3 in a moment.